If you have a Dodge Nitro, the rear window or the front window is not going up, no longer going up or down, and is dropping in the shaft sleeve here or whatever, then you need to change your window regulator, which is underneath the door panel here. Today I'm going to show you how to change it, and hopefully this video helps you so that you can do this yourself and save yourself some money. Alright, so this is how the window regulator looks. That's the rear side, inside to the door. This is the outside. This is basically the whole inner panel of the door that replaces the speaker goes here, and the door panel mounts over this, and the handle would be mounts to that. And yeah, it's a whole big assembly for the window regulator. First thing you want to do is remove this switch and this cover here. To do that, you're going to get a straight screwdriver. Here are the tools you will need. You'll need a Phillips screwdriver, a T20 star head, a smaller straight screwdriver, and a really small straight screwdriver, and I'll explain what this is for later. And a 10mm, preferably on an impact, but on a ratchet can work fine. So to start, you're going to get your medium straight screwdriver and carefully push down in this area right here and pry this cover off. Try not to damage the door panel. Just like that. And there's a 10mm bolt right there that needs to come off. Next thing you want to do is remove this switch here. I find it's easier to use a knife and wedge it under the front here and lift up. Then using the screwdriver, once it comes loose there, you can wiggle it out and unplug your harness. Just push that tab in and pull out. So there's a total of 2 more screws. There's a little piece of plastic down here that comes out to expose a screw there, Phillips screw. And down here at the bottom, we have another little cover that has to come out, and there's another Phillips screw there. And if you have a piece of cardboard here, you're going to want to remove that now so that you can slide the door panel up. Basically, grab under here and just pull up on the door panel. It's a little bit tricky. You might have to pull on the bottom here, pull it out a little bit. But I'm going to put the phone aside just to pull this out and then slide up. So give it a nice upward tug and it just falls out. There's one wire, a tweeter wire, on here that needs to be pulled out. Just basically push on this little tab here, slide that out, and now your door panel is free. Put that aside. Okay, so you have several wire harnesses, one going here to the motor itself. This little red tab needs to pull out so you can push the bottom in and slide out. As you can see, this wire goes into here, and this little cap right here needs to come out. There you go, and you can see in there, see if I can get the phone in there better. There's a little wire clipped onto in there, and the tab part is on top. It needs to push down and basically just slide back. It's a little bit difficult, but you'll see it. Sorry you can't see it here in the video very well. It helps to stick a screwdriver down there and push the tab down, and then you can kind of pull back with this wire from in here. Once the tab is pushed down, you can pull this off and pull this out. Remove this whole harness from here and wiggle it through all these little things. Push the rubber in, and that's loose. So now we have 9 10mm bolts around the edge of here that need to come off. Just remove all of those. These bolts are all the same as the rest of these, so don't worry about them getting mixed up. So next, grab your star head driver and remove the speaker. There's 3 T20 screws. And then carefully, without pulling on this plastic here, pry the back of the speaker away from the plastic. And there's the harness. That tab needs to be pushed in right there. And slide the harness back. There you go. It's your speaker loose. All right, so come back up here to the top, and this little black clip needs to come back off of this metal bar here. This is the handle latch bar. Basically, this piece of plastic needs to come off of there like that. You can see that, it kind of shook the phone back, but here it's loose. And it just slides to the back, and then this comes down out of there. Then you can remove this vibration protection off of here. Don't throw this away. You'll notice that this kind of rattles against the plastic if you don't have this on. Put that aside. Remove the rubber grommets on each one of these metal bars here. There we go. It's coming. It's hard to do this with one hand, but it's coming. Alright. Perfect. Take all that off of there. And now, this handle has to come off. You can take this off afterwards, or you can take this off now. Basically, this little pin pushes up from the bottom, comes out. Don't lose the spring, and then wiggle this, finagle it out of here. It's a little bit tight when it comes out. It comes up like that. You can pull on this. As you can see, the spring is going to kind of go crazy. Don't lose the spring. You can wiggle this out of here, basically like that, and put this aside. Alright, so the back area is a little bit difficult to get the cables and this little plastic piece over here that latches into the window. Okay, so basically there's a plastic piece that comes and it latches and hooks onto a couple little hooks on the back of this door, and the door panel kind of needs to slide forward, but that little piece of plastic needs to be kind of lifted up to allow it to slide back. So here is the piece here. It's hard to get the phone back in here, but you basically lift on this, slide back. So as we can see on this specific door, this piece is all broken and the cables are all bad. So you can just slide these cables out. Slide the cables out of the little latch here that's on the window. And so now you can finish getting the harness out and remove the speaker wire clip in the back here. So just wiggle it out. It can be a little bit difficult sometimes, but get that out some way or another. And so wiggling this panel off of these metal bars does seem a little bit difficult, but it's possible. You just kind of have to finagle it around. I found that if you twist it in the upwards position, getting this bar out and this at the same time, you have to kind of like, feel your way around, but it's possible. So you'll kind of feel it as you do it. The main thing is pushing that little piece down behind the door, and then just wiggling it around. Get that piece out, and you can easily get this piece out, and there we go. The old piece is out. So depending on how your door panels are, there's a little hole, an access hole on this side that allows you access to that clip back in there. Basically, this clip goes through a hole in the glass and holds the window. This style has a metal bar here. Some of them don't. They just have a cable and two bearings that the cable rolls on. But if you cannot get the glass out, see, this piece is still stuck here in the glass. This is easy to take off, but if you can't get this off, you need to access that little hole and push this pin in like so. Let me see if I can show you. There you go. It's pushed in, and now you can get a screwdriver, kind of push it back, and slide this off. That's your window bracket. The good thing about this style is you don't have to worry about latching the window in. Just put the whole panel in and then slide the window down, and you'll watch the hole as it lines up with that clip and snap the window in. Slide the bars in. Make sure you get both of them in the right holes. There you go. Just like that. Now we're gonna go back around and get that clip piece on. I'm not gonna video that. It's kind of hard to video, and you'll see what I mean when you do it. Feed your harnesses through the hole here before you try to latch that clip back there. Reinsert your speaker wire pin, and then go back there and latch that piece of plastic. Once that's clipped into place, you can remove this piece of rubber here. It's a little bit. There you go, it's just wedged in there basically. And then you have to look down through this crack here. It's a little bit hard to put the phone there, but if you can see that, you have to line that little, there's a little hole in the glass that has to line with that clip down there. So as you're putting the panel in, line that hole up on the glass and the clip. Just lightly screw a bolt in to hold the panel in while you install the window into its bracket. Just to hold it basically. Don't do them very tight. Just to hold it. As you can see, the clip is not quite in the hole. You have to kind of wiggle it around and get it in the hole there. You'll hear a distinctive click, and then you won't be able to pull the window back up. Alright, so there you have it. It's very hard to see and very hard to video, but the clip is securely clipped to that hole in the glass, and it will hold the window in place.
And reinstall the harness as you took it out. Same way you took it out, put it back in, basically. Alright, this goes right here, and all these little hooks and crannies. This wire goes under this bar here, around here, and then in that hole, back up to that clip in there.
Reinstall the rubber grommets. Getting this clip to line up with the prongs in there, or the hole that it goes into, is kind of difficult, tricky. You'll have to kind of figure out how to get that in there. I used a screwdriver and my hand to push it in, but it's pretty straightforward. It's just a little tricky because of the limited space you have here. Push it in till you hear it click, and you're good to go. Reinstall the vibration prevention sleeve, and now at this point you can start bolting the rest of the bolts around the door panel. Try to do them kind of evenly. Don't do them all tight one at a time to prevent the plastic from breaking. Also, do not do them extremely tight. They're not metal to metal. It's just this plastic bracket. You just want it tight enough that it pulls it in, and not too tight. Go all around once, and then come back and just feel it. Remember not to put that one in yet. That one goes in the handle. Reinstall the handle like that and the spring like this. Push the pin down. Line everything up. Make sure that piece goes in all the way. And then you can move the spring back over that little hook there. And then the latch is back in place. Reinstall the latch. Bring the clip around and clip it in place. Okay, and remember this little screwdriver? This clip, depending on how cheap these products that you buy are, sometimes these wires are switched around, so you want to plug this in before you put the door panel on. Plug this into here and install your window switch. And make sure that it is actually operating up and down with the switch. So if you pull up and it goes down, or push down and it goes up, those wires will need to be switched around. Let's test this one. Turn the key on and then come back around here to your switch and pull up, the window goes down. So we know this is backwards. push down, the window is going up. So these wires will need to be switched around. It's pretty simple. If you have a little screwdriver, you pull this cover off here. First of all, this needs to be unplugged. This little clip comes off. I'm gonna take that off. And then down inside of there, you stick your screwdriver down that little hole there and pull that orange piece out, and you'll see the clips that hold the wires in. And they're pretty easy to just pull out and switch around. Just keep in mind where they were before and after. On this particular one, I actually had to use a little pair of needle nose pliers. This piece pulls out, and down inside there, there's little clips that hold those prongs in there. I'm gonna try to get that on video, but it's pretty hard to see. All right, so if you can see that, you're good. Anyway, that little piece in there needs to push that way, and the prong can slide out. Same thing on this side. You need to push that way, and it can push out. Get this out of here. There's that one slid out. We're gonna try the next side, and there we go. So, the red is on the right. We're gonna switch them around and place the red on the left, which will be like this. Slide them in there until you hear them click, and then they're in. So now red is on the left, blue is on the right. Just push it in there until it snaps in. There you go. And then replug it in, and you can retest the direction. Make sure that up is up and down is down. Turn the key back on, and now we will test and push down, and the window comes down. I don't know, yours may not be like this, but just test it before you put everything back together. Reinstall the speaker and the upper molding sleeve. Remember to plug in the tweeter and route this wire to this hole. Align the lock shaft with the hole here, and basically reinstall the door panel. We're going to slide it up similar to how it was, and push all the clips back in and slide it back down. Once you get that snap down in there and you hear that clip, reinstall your screws. Just a tip, it takes pretty strong downward pressure to clip that in. Put both your knees against the bottom here and push in the top here to make sure all those little tabs are hooked in, and push down, and you'll hear a very distinctive snap whenever it clips in. Re-clip the clip into the switch. Slide the switch down, and reinstall the bezel. Make sure these back clips line up in their respective holes before trying to snap the front piece in, but you'll hear a very distinctive snap when that snaps in. And then you're all done. And best of all, the windows work. Thanks for watching. If this video helps you, please hit the like button. Thanks, and have a great day.